First thing I have to share is that I'm sure none of you dentists have heard this before, but I'm deathly afraid of dentists. About 5 years ago, yeah, I chipped a tooth, and I had a gold crown put on, and that went okay. I was able to survive that. And again, I didn't see a dentist for another approximately 5 years. So about a year and a half ago, this was now, I was getting a little sensitivity at some of the gum line. And so I went to a dentist. He examined me and said I needed some bonding because I had some gum recession. And fortunately or unfortunately, he examined my mouth completely, did x-rays, and said, well, we have something to talk about. Bad news was you have major periodontal work. You have loose tooth, possibly two. And the good news is it's not life-threatening. Laser looks like something I would like to try. I said it can't be worse than watching all my other friends who've been through the other, quote-unquote, to me, archaic practices. And so I sought out to find someone. And fortunately, I was going to my doctor for a physical. And I said, Doc, can you recommend anybody in town who is kind, compassionate, considerate, and who would work with lasers? So he just smiled, opened his mouth and said, take a look. And I said, wow. So I came over, saw Dr. Cortes. She pretty much confirmed everything that was said, explained the procedure. And when I met her, I knew that this was the person to do it. Her energy was beautiful. She was kind, she was considerate, she was compassionate, and I felt this is the way to go. And so we started the procedure, I guess 8:30 in the morning. During the whole procedure, you know, we were joking, we were kidding. The energy was beautiful. The assistants were doing a great job, calming and rubbing my hand, and I thought, wow, this is almost like heaven. I couldn't believe I was in a dentist's office going through this procedure. About 3.5, 4 hours, give or take, she said, we're done. I said, what? We're done? She said, yep, that's it. And it was, I said, I couldn't imagine going to the other procedures where you're working at a quadrant at a time over a period of time, and this was done in 4 hours. So I said, well, so far so good. After it was over, she explained, you know, again what we did. I got my information sheet of what possibly to expect. You might have some swelling, you might have some discomfort, you might have some bleeding, you could feel shaky, you could feel nauseous. Finally, after a couple of days, I called Doc. I said, Doctor, I can't believe this. I have no symptoms whatsoever of anything that had been discussed. And it turned out for me that was my experience. And it's now been a year and a half. Oh no, a little less than a year and a half. My gums are rock solid. My gums are healthy. The growing backs where I had some of the receding, there you did a splint of a loose tooth, which is firmed up, and the experience has just been incredible.
Before I came to Dr. Cortes, I had swollen gums. They were bleeding. All my teeth were loose. I went to 3 different dentists, and all 3 said that I have to have all of my teeth extracted. The first one said 17 have to come out immediately, and then the rest will come out later. And then I went and got a second opinion and a third opinion because I didn't really want my teeth out. And each dentist was increasingly expensive, and they had the same news. They said everything had to come out. So I was very depressed about it, and also suffering a lot of colds and fevers. I was sick all the time. I was depressed. And finally, my wife found out about Dr. Cortes through her mother, who had laser surgery done in California. I came to first I should say that I did the scaling with the periodontist, and I did that full mouth, all 4 quadrants. I did it about 3 times. Each time I did it, it was a very long recovery process. It was very painful, and I remained sick. I felt worse after the scaling than before the scaling. I was suffering from abscesses all the time. Right before my wedding, everything was swelling up. When I came to Dr. Cortes, she did the laser stuff first, and I'm not going to say it wasn't completely pain-free, but it was remarkable recovery. In 2 or 3 days, I felt much better. The fevers went away, the swelling stopped. I could eat. Like before, I couldn't even eat bread without suffering pain. I couldn't eat meat. I couldn't have corn on the cob, anything like that. Now I can eat anything. Everything's fine. My teeth are solid. I believe the bone is growing back now. And, you know, laser surgery changed my life. When the doctor examined me, he told me that I had periodontal disease and I'd need to have my gums cut up and go through that whole procedure. A friend of mine who was a sergeant in the Marine Corps had it done several months prior to that. And I remember the excruciating pain that he went through. And this is a man, 6'5", 240 pounds, who you could put nails through his hands and he would know what pain is. And to see him in the pain he was, there was no way in hell that I was going to put myself through that. So we did some research, and this friend that Dr. Cortes had mentioned had seen an article in W Magazine where it mentioned Millennium Laser. And there was an 800 number to call to find out who the doctors who were participating in this program. And the doctor, then when we made the call, was Dr. Cortes. So I called up, spoke to her briefly on the phone, asked to come in and meet with her. And the first day I met with her, we sat down. In fact, it's amazing, right from the spot, I walked close to her and she said to me, "You have periodontal disease," without even an examination, which gave me a lot of confidence in her. But after about 20 minutes, she explained to me what I had, what the procedure would be to help me to cure this, and then post-operative what I would go through. I felt very comfortable with her, and I think it was that day when we made the first appointment to actually do this. And February 13th of this year, I came in around 1 o'clock, and what she wanted to do originally was to do one quadrant at a time with me. Me being the sissy that I am as far as pain is concerned, not knowing that it would be not painful, I said, let's do it all and get it over with. I said, I just want to get this done. I don't want to go through this. So the doctor said, fine, it's going to be several hours, and true to her word, we started at 1 and 6:30 we were done. And when she was done, I was shocked, because I'm sitting in that chair 6 hours, didn't feel a thing. I went home. She gave me some, I believe it was Darvocet, if I'm not mistaken. I think I took 2 Darvocet pills, more because of my own fears than of the pain, and followed her instructions for the first couple of days. That Monday happened to be Martin Luther King's birthday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, President's Day, and I had the day off. By Tuesday, I was back in my office working. So it was an exhilarating thing for me to know that from a Thursday to a Tuesday, I was up and walking and talking with my customers as I am now, feeling better, feeling that my teeth were stronger, my gums, I didn't have that fear of being close to somebody anymore. And 7 months later, I'm happy.